This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
This is absolute tosh.
Well, let's get back to it.
Just a thought. Does this job constitute doing my duty? I mean, does your job mean that you are doing your duty? You're giving yourself over to doing your job, or does it only count if you're a royal personage? Because we spend all of our lives doing our jobs, don't we? Is that us doing our duty? Just a thought. Today was one of the hottest days of the year as Britons gathered to celebrate the second day of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And they're celebrating by going to the supermarket for something to eat. And they're celebrating by sitting in their back garden and reading the paper. And they're celebrating by going down the garden centre. But they're mostly celebrating by queuing at airports to practically jet off to somewhere else. I mean, all that waving and the occasional smiling is okay, and we like the bunting, but we're talking about getting some sunshine here, and frankly, Your Majesty, we'd rather be in Benidorm or Barcelona or anywhere else. The mercury almost hit 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the south coast today.
Oh, fabulous.
70. I mean, they did say 77. Liar! Almost as though, it was a government a missive. We're going to hit 77 today, they said. Liar! No, we didn't. Not even close. It was about 70, there or thereabouts. And today, unfortunately, was the peak of the warm weather. The Met Office have warned that rain could disrupt the rest of the Jubilee celebrations over the weekend. Rain?
Oh, no.
Not just rain, though. A yellow weather warning.
Warning, warning.
2 of them were issued for the south on Saturday between midnight and 10 a.m. That's midnight Saturday and then 10 a.m. in the morning. Thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. These storms are threatening to wash out the Party at the Palace concert tomorrow. Oh, gosh, I hope that Ed Sheeran doesn't get wet. I hope Rod Stewart doesn't get wet. I mean, what would his hair look like wet? Who else is going to be there?
Queen.
No, probably not. But it will carry on regardless. Is Madness going to be on the roof? How about Grace Jones? Is she going to be doing her hula hoop thing? Yeah, just rain. Rain and it could be thundery showers. The storms are threatening to wash out the Party at the Palace concert tomorrow. Thousands of Jubilee street parties also might get a little bit damp on Sunday, which just goes to show that you should not plan anything outside in the summer in Great Britain as you're just asking for it. Met Office Deputy Chief Meteorologist Rebecca said, it may be an unsettled start to the long weekend for some, with showers for Northern Ireland and Wales and Western England. However, many parts will see much more settled conditions with plenty of dry weather and good spells of sunshine. And I certainly do hope that your parts remain dry. Friday is going to be the warmest day of the weekend. We've already had it. It's been and gone now. If you missed it, too bad. You'll never get that day back. Later in the weekend, the highest temperatures are likely to be in the northwest. What? The northwest? Glasgow? Warmest? Rubbish. Checking while you wait. Aha. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know how you're going to take this, you good citizens of Glasgow, but it's going to be sunny tomorrow. Have you got anything to wear in the sun?
No.
No. No rain at all. Forecast for the entire 24 hours. You're actually going to see sun. Sun, it would be the big yellow thing in the sky, which will be momentarily blue, as opposed to your usual shade of grey. Sunday will also be quite pleasant. This is Glasgow. And then, see, there you go. Normal service is resumed on Wednesday. You're going to get wet on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and every day for the rest of your lives. Still, never mind. A plume of warm air currently across the continent pushes north over the UK. Filthy, second-hand foreign air.
Disgusting.
Pushing north over the UK. Southern areas likely to see showers on Saturday and Sunday, which could turn heavy and thundery at times. Northern Ireland, Scotland and Northern England look like they'll see the driest conditions from Saturday onwards, most likely enjoying some prolonged periods of sunshine. Sunshine, prolonged periods, in Glasgow. Can you believe that?
No.
No. RAC traffic spokesmodel Rod said, "The fact that bank holidays coincide with the end of half-term in many places has the potential to put some extra pressure on the road network, so planning a journey carefully is important to beat the worst of any queues." You can say that again, Rod. He said, "The best way for drivers to avoid breaking down this week is to check over their vehicles before setting out. Yet our research shows less than a fifth do this routinely," he said. "Making sure that you have something dangly and distracting on your rearview mirror and one of those huge mufflers to make your sewing machine-sized engine sound like Concorde taking off takes just minutes," said Rod out of the RAC. And that's just good advice. Tomorrow, thundery showers likely in the south. Elsewhere, sunny spells becoming rather warm except for eastern coasts, which will remain cool and cloudy. Sunday to Tuesday. Showers heavy in the south, spreading north across England and Wales. Warm in the northwest, Scotland in particular. And you don't get to say that much. In fact, it's so unlikely that I'm going to say it again. Warm in northwest Scotland in particular. Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
OK. Now, this is still Friday the 17th of June. This is essentially the middle 2 weeks of June. This is full-on summer now, people, so I wish you the best of luck. Fingers crossed. At first, dry, sunny, a few scattered showers. Then, into next weekend, drier, more settled, lighter winds. For the northwest, however, a normal service is resumed, unsettled, spells of rain and strengthening winds. The best of any drier and brighter spells in southeast England, and that's for the next couple of weeks. And then, the end of June, beginning of July. God, July. It's practically over. It's almost Jesus' birthday again. End of this month and the beginning of next. Staying relatively similar throughout the second half of June to the first half, which was, I'll remind you, dry, sunny, few scattered showers, light winds. A roughly equal chance of wetter than average and drier than average conditions.
What?
That's just them saying, yeah, we don't know. A roughly equal chance of wetter than average and drier than average conditions. You might as well not say anything at all. But, and it's a huge but, temperatures are likely to be above average for most. Temperatures are likely to be above average for most. We'll take it. Archie texts, "If you play Her Majesty's favourite tune, I will stand up and salute the Clash as she would have wanted." The Clash? What? Why, riot? I want a riot. That's not Her Majesty's favourite tune. Don't you mean the Sex Pistols? It was Rod Stewart that kept the Sex Pistols off the charts in the previous Jubilee. Yeah, thanks a lot, Rod. See what you've done? No, we do not think you're sexy. Sue texts, "So sadly, I didn't get to the Swanage Jubilee street party for 600 today, as I have bad sciatica with terrible pain in my hip and leg.
Stop whining.
Do any of your listeners know how to relieve it, apart from painkillers, which haven't done much good? Love you," says Sue. Sciatica. That's kind of like a pulled muscle or something, isn't it? Something like that. It feels a bit like a pulled muscle. Pretty sure about that. I am a medical expert. You can trust me just as you should trust the ex-president of the United States of America.
I'm not a doctor.
What does he know? I don't know, Sue. Try, moving. Have you tried moving? Matt tweets, "How's Nadine doing tonight?" David says, "Waiting for Tory MP." Is this all from tonight already? I've got about 6 pages of text and emails in small type transformed onto a document for me, and I haven't got to the first break yet. I've already got too many messages to read out during this brief 3-hour show. But I am helping people. There is that. David texts, waiting for Tory MPs to trigger a vote of no confidence against the crime minister is like waiting for the benefits of Brexit. Any Brexit benefits so far, Smug?
I don't know anything.
No, he doesn't know anything. Not yet. He'll let us know when he knows something, but at the moment he doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything.
Say it again.
I don't know anything.
One more time.
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything. Leslie says, most of your listeners don't want to hear the temperature in Fahrenheit. Are you kidding me, Leslie? Her Majesty's Patriotic Fahrenheit, never mind about European surrender centigrade. We're going backwards here, Leslie. Keep up. Imperial measurements all the way. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Now, these are very highly suspiciously keen callers. I'll take the first one in Waterloo. Hello, Maria.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm great, mate.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, it's so nice to speak to you. Oh, I just wanted to share with you that my husband and I were scootering on his old Vespa.
My husband and I? You really are
Yes,
getting
yes.
into the swing of things, aren't you?
I am, aren't I? And we're scootering past the Imperial War Museum, and
Yeah.
they're just up the road from us. And there, in the car next to us, is Kate and William. And I made eye contact with William, and then before that there was Meghan and Harry. And we're not royalists, but we got really excited about it. It was really funny.
Well,
And then
let me ask you this. Upon eye contact, did Wills leave What's-It and get into your car?
No, I was on a Vespa.
A Vespa, right. A Vespa, right. Okay.
Pay attention.
Yeah, I will not on this show. All right, thanks a lot for that totally believable story, Maria. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
It's a radio show, dear. 0345 6060 973. Jane texts, we've had rain and fog this morning and it was chilly. This afternoon we had some sunshine, but it still wasn't all that warm. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Jane. Keep me updated if there are any developments. Promise me you'll do that. Daniel tweets, it's 75 degrees Fahrenheit here in Alberta, Canada. Far too warm. I'm expecting the trees to start blowing up any time now. 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll translate that into European surrender centigrade for those of you who don't have a free bus pass. You double it and add 32 to get from Fahrenheit to centigrade. So let's see, that's 75 times 2 is 160. And 160 plus 32 is, carry the 2, is 202 degrees centigrade. 202 degrees centigrade in Canada today. Can you believe that?
No.
JR texts, so the Prime Minister was booed at St Paul's Cathedral today because he doesn't care, and neither should we, because we got our pounds and ounces back. A Brexit opportunity taken. 3 cheers for Bodger and Smug. Hip hip! Boo! Let's have Gloucester. Dion.
Hello there, Nick.
Yes, Dion.
Glad to hear that your trip to Madrid went well.
Yes, it was super fantastic. It was 2 days and 3 nights.
Fabulous.
A break.
Just for tonic. I wanted to call in to say that for people who are a little tired of the pomp and splendour and the kind of expected viewing of the Jubilee and Boris Johnson hanging on the coattails of Her Majesty to improve his own image.
Compulsory bunting, all that sort of thing.
There was an interesting story of Johnny Depp visiting an animal sanctuary in Kent.
Oh, yes.
And there was an image of him holding a badger aloft.
A badger aloft. Yes.
Yeah. I just
Is that wise? Probably not. I mean, a badger could bite your face off if it wanted to.
Oh, I'm sure it was a regulated environment.
Well, was it a stunned badger? Was that badger on drugs, for instance?
Want to score some pot?
To keep it calm? Because if Johnny Depp was holding me, I don't think I'd be calm.
Well, no, certainly not. But I suppose the badger isn't aware of his history and the details of the
I guess so,
case.
yeah. A badger hasn't seen any of those pirate films. I saw one. That was plenty enough for me.
Boring.
Awful.
Well, yeah. But I do think the badger really represents something of the British spirit. I mean, badgers are very proud of their homes.
Yeah.
They're regarded to be very fierce, but they can also be gentle.
Right.
They're quite bland colours. Red, black, white.
Yeah, wash once a month, whether they need it or not, that sort of thing.
Flannel grey. Yeah.
OK, well, you've given it a lot of thought, Dion. Excellent work. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. That was borderline listener with material.
Oh, no.
I think we got away with it. Paul says, Ed Sheerpants was performing here in Sheerpants. Why is that a thing? I know his name is Ed Sheeran. What's his name?
Sheeran.
Sheeran, yeah. I know. I'm hip and with it. I'm down with the kids. Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, says Paul, was performing here in Coventry last weekend, but I couldn't be interested if he was performing on my front lawn. Yeah. I know what you mean. Modern music is rubbish. That is a verifiable fact. God, they play it at my gym. It's excruciating. All these Wayne kids who've obviously hired a stylist to dress them up in silly clothes to make them appear more interesting. And the songs they sing, I mean, I don't know how they've got the nerve to put them out. Every single one sounds the blooming same. Doesn't matter who it is. They're completely interchangeable. All of these singers, these kids with terrible tattoos, also acquired to make them appear more interesting. Is it working?
No.
Not really. And when they run out of lyrics, and the lyrics will be, ooh, baby, your clothes are on my bedroom floor. Ooh, yeah, baby, baby. That kind of stuff. And when they run out of, exciting and deep and meaningful lyrics like that, they just make noises. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, that's not even trying. That's phoning it in. Not like in the old it were grand when I were a lad. We had ooh-wee, chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep. You don't get that today. John says, challenge Boris Johnson about his lying and he will lie about it. Well, that is verifiably correct. Yeah, he did that just the other day. He was interviewed by Mumsnet, which he thought was going to be a breeze. He went in all ooh and ah and came out running and screaming. Opening question, you are a big fat liar. Not really much of a question, but more of a statement, which he tried to squirm his way out of. Took the wind right out of his sails. Ain't that right, Bodge? And he just kept sticking to the story.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
Yeah, he lied. What an absolute shower, eh? Francis tweets, a Jubilee is a cartan, C-A-R-R-T-A-N, a cartan of juice put in the freezer and then you eat it with a spoon. None of the royal nonsense. A Jubilee. Is that an actual dictionary definition of the word Jubilee?
Not sure.
It's frozen juice.
I just Google it.
Because that sounds quite nice. I think I would celebrate frozen juice. Heather says, now Prince Andrew has COVID, he can't go out. What's he going to do? Well, continue not going out, I expect. Here, in what may be a helpful text, first for this show, not a text, a call, Morden. Hello, Carol.
Hello.
Carol.
You had a call from someone about sciatica?
Yes.
Which you didn't appear to know about.
I know nothing. I may have had it once. I can't remember.
I had it, and it was extremely painful.
Yeah,
and
extremely painful.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Yes.
Well, all the GPs would give me were painkillers that had side effects.
Yeah.
So I gave them back. And
what kind of side effects?
Groovy.
Were they good side effects or bad side effects?
No, bad side effects.
Right.
It
didn't like make your vision go green and yellow and pink and blue. They didn't sort of create like a wave. If you waved your hand in front of your face, you didn't get like an after blur or anything like that.
No,
nothing like that. Right.
No, I didn't take them anyway. But I went to a chiropractor who x-rayed my spine.
Oh, yeah.
And found that the reason for the sciatica was because of problems with the spine. And he's actually manipulated the spine until it no longer hurts. Right. So for the person who contacted you to try and find out what to do with it, find a chiropractor.
Yeah, I think some GPs would raise a finger of complaint in the air about getting a chiropractor, like manipulating your spine, popping and cracking you, right? Popping and cracking you.
Something like that.
Yeah, I used to go to one of those. When she did my neck, that was my favourite bit. Take hold of your head and then just sort of wave it around a little bit. Well, maybe that's over-egging it slightly. She would manipulate my head like back and forth, and then she'd twist it really hard, and it sounded like a volley of gunshots go off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still go every 3 weeks. And he still manipulates my spine, but I've had no pain.
Right. Yeah, the problem with a chiropractor, when they start popping and cracking you, is that in itself becomes addictive. And it's like popping your knuckles. The more you do it, the more you need to do it, because the pressure starts to build up and then you really, really want it, right? But you feel about an inch taller when you move up, when you leave their couch, right?
Well, it certainly stops the pain.
Yeah,
so.
the bed of torture. Yeah. Okay, glad to hear it, Carol.
All right.
Okay,
nice
cheers, my dear. And you, ta-da, 03. See, helping people already. You believe that? 0345 6060 973. Al says, I agree with you. Nobody plays the national anthem or worships me for turning up at work. The Queen didn't protect the Constitution or the British reputation when needed. She could have dismissed Johnson's government when they lied to her. Maybe she's a nice person, though, says Al. He just threw that in at the end there, because he caught the mood of the nation. Maybe she's a nice person. But is it duty if we show up for work for every single day for our entire life? Or is it only duty if that work involves chatting to people and being treated like a god? Is that the only part which you could claim is duty? Or if you go to work as a teacher every day until you're, 60, 70 years old, is that you doing your duty? Or does that not count? Or how about a cleaner? How about somebody who cleans the roads, who collects the rubbish? Is that them doing their duty, or is that them just doing their job? Does it only count as duty if you get paid £80 million a year? Tom tweets, 3 cheers for Boris Johnson. Hip hip. Yeah, I've done that one already, Tom. And Isabel says, does anyone realise our present Queen is Queen Elizabeth I of Great Britain? Neil says, you worry about the weather too much. Just be thankful. A bad summer means less flip-flops. Well, that is a good point. Fewer flip-flops. I think we can all agree that is a good thing. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 10:30. The news headlines with Serena Farrow.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
What number are you calling from?
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Just in case you were wondering about the orange Jubilee thing, a carton of frozen orange juice is called the Jubilee. Any fool know that. Other juices frozen in a packet are available. They probably aren't. You need to ask for a Jubilee. Darryl says, if people in America demand the right to bear arms so they can go hunting, there should at least be a level playing field by also having the right to arm bears. To see how they like them apples. Glasgow, hello Frankie.
How are we doing, Nick? All right, Paul?
All right, thanks.
Sweltering here in Glasgow.
I seriously doubt that.
No, well, it's not sweltering. It's like 15 degrees, which is sweltering in Glasgow.
Very, very high. You had to peel off a couple of layers there, I bet.
Definitely, mate. I've even had to open the windows, which is the first time this year.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I know. Did you see Bodge? Did they try to look presidential? Do you know what the best thing was? Like Mrs. Bodgeness actually had her hat facing the way that, you know, if you look to the right, you would have seen the Bodge, and her hat was there to block the view.
Oh, right.
Oh, you need to see it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Pretend to herself that she wasn't actually accompanying you-know-who up the steps. Right.
What she was doing was, like, she had one of those the badges that saying, I am not his carer. You know, so I don't know who dress. But that aside, how are you enjoying the Jubilee?
I haven't seen a single minute of it, except for I watched about 5 minutes of the news just before I came out. And what I did see was Bodge going up the steps, receiving the reception that he deserves. No! And then him standing at the end of a row at St. Paul's Cathedral, and everybody else was stock still. And he was swaying on the spot. Did you notice that? He was swaying so much that he looked like he was doing the twist, like he was listening to some rock and roll on his headphones. It looked like he was trying to screw himself into the ground. Maybe he had been to one of his business meetings. You know, he'd just come out fresh from being refreshed at a business meeting. Booze. He looked pie-eyed.
He looked as if he had a bit of a skin fade.
Yeah, exactly right.
But his reception when he came back out was even better.
Oh, was it?
But that was really funny. And what also I've enjoyed with the Jubilee is that Hazza and Sparkles has gone down a treat, which has really annoyed the right-wing media.
I bet they're absolutely beside themselves. Yeah, people like Sparkles because, you know, she's sparkly. Same as people like What's-It out of Wills and What's-It because she's sparkly too.
Well, she's getting more brownie points than Wills's Mrs. What's-Her-Face. Sparkles is way ahead in the Derby, in the Royal Derby Stakes.
I had no idea.
The eve of the Derby.
Right, I had no idea it was a race.
No, it's definitely a race.
Who's your money on?
Oh, mine is on the American horse. I mean, Americans are great breeders of racehorses, so Sparkles is miles in front. So
right, okay, glad to hear it.
Do you want a tip for the Derby tomorrow?
Yes, go on then.
Bet Star of India.
Okay, if you want a tip for the Derby tomorrow is don't put money on horses. I think that's probably excellent advice. The house always wins. Always, always, always. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, Hazza and Sparkles are back in town, and the press are absolutely beside themselves because they don't know whether to scream or pen another article about how awful she is. Here's an article about how we never want to hear from Sparkles again on pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with a special colour pull-out edition inside. Thousands of pictures available. And on and on and on they go. She's just a blooming actress who married a blooming bloke. What's the big to-do? And they're acting like she is the one that is single-handedly pulling down the royal family. Well, I think that, the royal family might have had a little bit of a hand in some of it, at least a little bit. And the press have had a hand in all of the rest of it. Press has little to do with Hazza and Sparkles. They said, wait a minute, I have detailed files. I haven't actually watched any of it, but I do have detailed files about it. One moment, please. Aha! A poll has they asked people what they thought.
Oh no!
A poll has found that the majority of people believe the royal family has risked reputational damage after Harry and Meghan attended the first day of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations.
What?
I mean, of all the people that were there, and all the people that were sweating it out at home in the palace, the royal family risked reputational damage after letting Hazard and Sparkles near them. I think the ship of reputational damage has sailed and sunk. Yesterday, the Duchess of Sussex... Anyone? Anyone at all? Who's that? Oh, I'm sorry, time's up. It's Sparkles. Out of Hazard and Sparkles. She's the Duchess of Sussex. She joined her husband, Prince Hazard, and the royals, including but not limited to Wills and Watsit, to watch the Trooping of the Colour. Their appearance, a first official royal engagement in more than 2 years, ended months of speculation on whether they would attend the celebrations. Months in which the press has been whipping itself up into a frenzy about how they're going to destroy the royal family. Because destroying the royal family is the press's job, and they want everyone to know it. The press had written this up, them coming along for attending the celebrations as a traitorous act to hog the limelight. Of course, if they hadn't shown up, it would have been a traitorous act not to make the Queen's Jubilee, a special time for Her Majesty, seeing her grandchild and all. Them not coming to hog the limelight didn't stop the usual suspects writing stories to make it all about Harry and Meghan, and then blaming them both for getting lots of publicity. A poll yesterday found that Britons believe that Hazard and Sparkles attending is risking reputational damage to the royal family. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, presumably that was a question that they were led into, responding to that. It wasn't some vague question about what do you think will happen if Hazard and Sparkles show up. It was, do you think that reputational damage is being done by? Yes or no? When people say yes. The poll conducted by One Poll, which is an organisation, found that 54% of the 2,000 Britons questioned believe that Hazard and Sparkles should have stayed away from the celebrations. But why? If you're focusing on two people watching the celebrations, then you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're supposed to be focusing on the celebrations. A further 58% said the couple should not be allowed to film Netflix content during the bank holiday weekend. Monday is fine. Friday and Saturday? No. That's right out. People were very clear about that. A third of those questions said issues and drama surrounding whether Hazard and Sparkles would appear have made the Platinum Jubilee celebrations less enjoyable. Oh, these people are nuts. What are you talking about? A third said issues and drama surrounding whether Harry and Meghan would appear have made the Platinum Jubilee celebrations less enjoyable. Really? How? I mean, apart from being cajoled into thinking that by the constant press coverage, which has told us that the celebrations will be ruined if Hazard and Sparkles show up. The poll also found that a high number of young adults do not feel patriotic or believe believe in the importance of the monarch. Yeah, well, we know that. We knew that. Old folks' obsessions. 77% of respondents believe that William will be a better king than his father, Prince Charles. Based on what? Based on not having heard him say much. 2/3 said the Queen was right to block Prince Andrew from making an appearance following his settlement with Virginia Giuffre. And then we had a smaller lineup at Buckingham Palace balcony. Well, it's probably on the verge of falling down. So there's that. The Queen decided she wanted to be accompanied only by, in inverted commas, working royals. I don't know quite what that means. Working royals to watch the fly past, and she focuses on those at the top of the line of succession. There was room on the balcony, apparently, Prince Charles and Camilla, Prince Edward and Sophie, Countess of Wessex. Presumably that's the same person. Sophie is the Countess of Wessex. I've got no idea. Princess Anne, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, Prince William and Kate, and their children, and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, whoever they are, and Princess Alexandra. That's the future of the monarchy in this country. Suck up all the pageantry now, people. Force yourself into a little flag waving and marvel at the bunting, because this is it. If the future is Prince Charles and Camilla, Prince Edward and Sophie, Countess of Wessex, Princess Anne and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, Prince William and Kate and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester and Princess Alexandra, then check your watch, because it's time up for the royal family. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Oh, hello.
0345 6060 973. Let's have a call in Oxted. Hello, Pat.
Hi.
Pat.
Nick, educate me. We've got a population in this country of over 60 million, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a royal yacht is going to cost over 100 million.
Right. Well, if they say it's going to cost 100 million, then it'll cost 350 million and be 10 years late and sink.
Well, I haven't. That's it. My calculations aren't too good. But if they were to give everybody over 18 £1 million and scrap all the benefits, wouldn't that make life simpler?
Well, it makes life simpler for the over 18s. Yeah.
Does my figures add up?
Royal yacht.
Well, it says on the web that the royal yacht was going to cost 200 million. And if we've only got 60 million people here, scrap the royal yacht. Give everybody over 18
100 million pounds.
a million,
yeah,
and scrap the benefits.
Right. Well, that sounds like a good idea. Royal yacht. Why? Britannia will definitely cost more than 200 million.
Well, I think it says 200 million on the web. You'll have to look it up.
I am looking it up right now, as a matter of fact. The surprise announcement, Boris Johnson has confirmed that there is to be a replacement for the Royal Yacht Britannia using new green technology. Yeah, right. Sure.
Choice.
Yeah, it'll be that green technology that hasn't been invented yet, that he's relying on us achieving net zero by 2050 with. Yeah. I've got no idea about any of that, Pat. You're asking me to do mental arithmetic on the radio.
Oh, no.
I won't do it.
You're not going to do it. Do you think it's a good idea?
We'll give everybody £1 million.
Give everybody £1 million. They seem to be chucking it around. Why not give everybody £1 million? Over 18.
But if there's 60 million of us, all right, over 18, let's say 30 million, or 20 million. 20 million. 20 million times $1 million.
Well, that's nothing, is it, the way they chuck it about?
Well, 20 million times $1 million. Wait a minute. 20, 1, 2, 3.
That's 20
1, 2,
million.
3. No, but it isn't, though. Times 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I thought you were cleverer than me.
It's 20,000. It's 20 million. So it's 20 billion. I think that's what that is. It's got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 zeros after 2. So you're a little bit out there, Pat. But not enough to obstruct your application to be the next Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yes. Sorry about that.
You can start first thing Monday morning, Pat, if you don't mind. Present yourself at Whitehall with your relevant qualifications. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. Anna says, forget bumping into Kate and William. I bumped into Mr. Motivator at Magor Services today. I know who's winning. Me, says Anna. Okay. Paul says, it's been a lovely Jubilee. It was great to see everyone out in the balcony, including Wills and Watsit and their children, George and Mildred. You have to be a certain vintage to get that. Did you understand that?
No.
He doesn't. He's just a child. Chris texts, I'm not a royalist, more a queenist. Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of that about Chris. I think people dissociate the Queen from the royal family in general. Because I just read out that list. This is the future of the royal family. Prince Charles and Camilla. Any abiding affection there?
No.
Then Prince Edward and Sophie.
No.
No. The Princess Anne and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence. I don't even know who they are. Prince William and Kate out of Wills and What's-It. I mean, they're nice, but
Boring.
a little bit dull. The Duke and Duchess of Gloucester. Who is that? Who is the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester?
Oh, I don't know.
We've got no idea. And Princess Alexandra, who sounds like Russian royalty. I've got no idea. I don't even know who that is. But that's the future of the royal family, kids. Zero interest. I feel a little bit sorry for, not Chaz exactly, because it's not going to crumble on Chaz's watch. I mean, he's... there was... I don't know if we should get into this, but there was... all I've seen so far was about 5 minutes of the news today. And I saw Boris Johnson like swaying like he was trying to stay upright, like he'd had a skinful just before he got there. I don't know what he was doing, but he was swaying. He was like doing the twist. He wasn't swaying from side to side so much as acting like he was trying to screw himself into the ground. Chubby Checker was probably on his headphones. But and there was Charles and Camilla. I think they were both sitting there with their mouths open, as though they'd kind of like tuned out just a long while ago. Maybe they were overcome with emotion. But he's quite old, and so it's not going to fall apart on his watch. I feel a little bit sorry, as sorry as you can feel for somebody who's worth £100 million and never has to work a day for the rest of his life other than to smile and wave and exchange small talk with strangers. I feel a little bit sorry for Wills. Did he not cry a little bit when they celebrated his appearance at the Liverpool football match? I think he was greeted by that, wasn't he? And he got a little bit emotional, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I didn't look into it in great depth, but nothing. The truth doesn't matter anymore. You just to say it out loud, and it suddenly becomes true. That seems to be the way of the world. Bodge. Yes. And I think it's dawned on him, after they had that dismal trip to the colonies, which went bad in every way, shape, and form. I mean, from just doing it in the first place to the execution of it to the pictures that came back from it, and they're basically greeted by people who wanted them to get out of their country. I think the full weight of what is about to happen to him has finally been revealed. It's all going to fall apart on his watch, isn't it? And I bet that dawning realization has finally come upon him. It's on him now. And it's just not going to work out the way that perhaps he has been dreaming it would his entire life, the way he's been sort of fashioned to take over as the heir. Because Hazza has managed to get out of it. He's the spare. He's okay. He can leave. But Wills, I bet he does feel a sense of duty. I mean, duty, that seems like an odd word. Duty is when you save your fallen comrades from a trench while experiencing enemy fire, not being treated like a god, being paid 80 million quid a year and, chatting to strangers. That doesn't seem like duty to me, but okay, if we must, let's call it duty. I feel that is what he has felt is his role in life, just to take over and keep it going in the manner to which we have become accustomed. But it's not going to happen, is it? And I think he's finally twigged. A little bit sad for him, really. You know, like I said, as much as you can feel sad for somebody who has had everything in life presented to him on a silver platter by a gloved butler. 0345 6060 973. Anyway, I started this text and didn't finish it. I am not a royalist, more a queenist, says Chris. And then I got sidetracked into that whole spiel about wills. Poor wills. I think people are queenists, not necessarily royalists, because the interest will fade rapidly when the Queen is out of the picture. I'm not a royalist, more a queenist, says Chris. I get the appeal. We've all been conditioned with the perpetual blitz spirit since the 1940s, and Lizzie has carried that torch. She is the best waver and drawstring puller this country has ever seen. But when she's gone, the rest of the royals will spend millions of our own money to convince us that we need them. And we don't, because it's not the 1300s, says Chris. Which is something akin to raining on people's parade. They don't want to hear that right now. Not until Monday morning, when the bunting has sagged on its cord and fallen into the gutter. But while the bunting is up, people don't want to hear that right now, because the entire country is sort of whipping itself up into a desperate frenzy of excitement. I mean, we're not really that excited, but we're trying to persuade ourselves that we are, because, you know, apart from anything else, it's a free show. Who doesn't like a free show? Free at the point of use, anyway. I mean, it's like the NHS. It's not actually free. We are paying for it, but it's free at the point of use. So, you know, why not? Why not have a little HAPP-winess in our life? I mean, you know, there's precious little of it. So let's go all red, white and blue for the weekend, because, you know, Monday will come around soon, and then we'll follow the rest of our lives. And on that happy note, 0345 6060 973, text 84850, email nicka@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah!
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
0345 6060 973. David text, do you think Her Majesty's discomfort is anything to do with eating too many sausage rolls? There is no such thing as too many sausage rolls, David. Lorna texts, I'm at home listening to you whilst the husband and daughter are rocking it at the Killers concert tonight. Oh, the Killers. They are great.
Boring.
I'm not jealous, she says. You can stick your Mr. Brightside. What's that? Is that one of those pop tunes from the Killers? If it is, I don't want to know. She says, anyway, I'm going to see Guns N' Roses in a few weeks' time, so no, I win. You certainly do.
Rock and roll!
Paul tweet, who's in Guns N' Roses these days? Is there anybody that used to be in Guns N' Roses? Is Slash out of Guns N' Roses in Guns N' Roses? Paul tweets, Nadine Dorris has come out and said that Mr. Johnson got more cheers than jeers. But the media don't want to report that, or words to that effect. Right. Then there must be something wrong with my ears. I need to send them somewhere for a tune-up. Right. Maybe it's what Bruce Springsteen gets. Every time, have you ever been to a Bruce Springsteen concert? It is quite alarming, because it sounds like people are booing him all the time, but they're just shouting, Bruce. But if 30,000 people all say Bruce at the same time, then most of the time you're just hearing, ooh, Bruce. So maybe that was it. Glad to know. The truth at last. Potter's Bar. Hello, Chris.
Hi there, Nick. This is all about the imperial measurements against the European surrender measurements.
Yes.
My daughter's doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and she's in training for it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's having to log all of the kind of distances she does on these hikes. So we went out for a hike, and we did 8.2 kilometres, which only comes to, in imperial measurements, as 5.1 miles.
Oh, that sounds.
We discussed it.
That sounds less.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought imperial measurements were supposed to be better. So she said to me, surely Nick would be able to ensure that this phone app was wrong.
Yeah.
For measuring it, and so she said, phone him up and ask him.
I most certainly will. I will help you in every way I can. What was the kilometres again?
It was 8.2 kilometres.
8.2 kilometres. Well, any fool know that to get from kilometres to miles, you double it and add 32. So 8.2 times 2 is 19.4. And 19.4 plus 32 is, let me see, 0.4 and 2 is the 9 is 3. It's, wow, 113.4 miles. Can you believe that?
No.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic. I'll get her to log that and then just show her people at school that what she's actually getting up to at the weekend in terms of her training. That's fantastic, Nick. You've made her weekend, that's for sure.
Well, you're welcome. 113.4 miles. That is some achievement, Chris.
Thanks a lot, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Appreciate it too. John says, is there any more you can say about Dream Machine? Yeah, I can say two things.
Groovy.
And?
Yowza.
I saw it again. I saw Dream Machine again. There's this thing that the government doesn't want you to know about called Unboxed. It used to be the Festival of Brexit, but nobody could think of anything good to say about Brexit. In fact, the government has actually had an entire person on the case trying to come up with a single thing that we can say that is positive about Brexit. And, well, let's check in with him now. Anything so far?
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything. So they couldn't think of anything positive to say about Brexit, so they cancelled the idea, but the people behind the idea said, oh, no, you don't. Now, I'm making this up. This is how it went in my mind. I don't know whether any of this is true or not, but it doesn't prevent it from being a fact. Not these days. Even if it's not true, it does not prevent it from being a fact. Ain't that right, Bodge? Yes. So there's events around the country. It's not concentrated in London, as you might expect. In fact, it seems to be that events in London are few and far between. I think the next big thing is in Weston-super-Mare, which may be actually super. The first time in its life that Weston-super-Mare has ever been super. There's a big thing that they've got coming up. I'm not going to tell you about it. Look it up on the internet. I'm not going to do your homework for you. There's a Dream Machine, which is amazing, really. They just flash white light at your eyes with a John Hopkins soundtrack.
Rock and roll!
He does like ambient stuff.
Groovy.
Exactly. And your brain takes over and creates shapes and colours. It's a remarkable thing. All it's doing is flashing white light at you, and your brain takes it to another level entirely. Dream Machine. See if you can get a ticket. It's out there in Woolwich. Another excellent reason to go to Woolwich. Well, actually the only one. Other than the Elizabeth line goes there, which is, it's good. It's a train line. It's a train line that is very, very big and has wide trains on it with very hard seats. Unnecessarily hard seats, I think. There's no earthly reason why they should be so very hard. Like you plonk yourself down, you could give yourself sciatica just by plonking yourself down on one of those seats, because it looks like it's got a bit of foam to it. Because there are other seats on trains that people describe as ironing board seats. They look a bit like an ironing board and are about as comfortable. But the Elizabeth line, they've forgotten the padding entirely, which is very odd. I mean, why? Just a bit of foam, that's all. Why are you economising on foam? That seems a bit of a weird thing to leave out. Comfort. They've thought of everything else. It's a marvellous thing. Apart from the name. I mean, I've already started calling it the Liz line, which, that is the opposite of everything that Her Majesty actually is, isn't it? I mean, Elizabeth, that's got sparkles and jewels to it. I mean, you can see that in gold, but not Liz. So I think they made a big mistake there, because the one thing that is named after her, that will be utilised by the most people, I mean, it's already like 2-3 million people have used that line. It's going to be used more than any other thing that they've called Elizabeth, and people are going to call it Liz. Just for short. Elizabeth line. 5 syllables. Too many. People are going to shorten it. I don't know, they should have called it something else maybe. Unless you actually want to go through your life saying extra syllables. I know I don't. I use up all my extra syllables on this show. Let's have Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. I'm glad you brought up about Johnson in the St Paul's today. I thought I was the only one that had noticed it, and it fascinated me. I thought he's got to have earbuds in because it's rhythmic. It wasn't random or...
What's he doing? Exactly.
Well, he was just going in a sort of circular movement, wasn't he?
Like he was doing the twist.
And I'm thinking, why is no one else commenting on this?
I only saw it for a moment. All I saw was like a clip that lasted about a second in the first 5 minutes of the news, which I watched at 6 o'clock just before I came out. I thought I might as well catch up. I mean, I'm not remotely interested in any of this folder all. I might look at the fly past on YouTube, but that's about it. But there he was, standing at the end of the aisle, just swaying like he'd just come back from one of his famous business meetings. I mean, it was pretty early in the morning. Did he stay up all night, or does he have sauce for breakfast?
Booze.
Well, what bothered me about the whole thing, because he winds me up every day practically, but a week's a long time in politics. So what was he doing last Friday? What he was doing was removing honesty, integrity and openness from the ministerial code.
Yeah.
And then today stood up and promoted truth,
integrity,
nobility, rightness in his speech. And I'm thinking, you phony person.
Well,
how dare you?
He picked the most gaslighty thing he could possibly find to irritate his detractors, to rub their fur up the wrong way. I think that the entire regime wakes up in the morning and thinks, what can we do to them today to really, really get their goat?
It seems like that, and I actually thought of your comment about they'll get up in the morning and think, what can they do? Because I thought that must have been irritating so many people.
Yeah.
That one thing, but I'll just go a bit sideways.
Integrity. I mean, he's got to be kidding, right? He is lecturing us about integrity. Right, go ahead, Bodge, we're all ears.
Can I just have a little sideways comment, Nick?
Yeah.
Mid-70s, I was in Manchester, and this is not going to make me popular, working for the Inland Revenue. And my girlfriend's father was a baggage handler at Manchester Airport.
Oh, yeah.
And he was earning exactly double what I was earning.
Wow.
And I know because I was in charge of his company's tax records. So what has happened in between? I mean, I know we had unions then that could stick up for workers, but by today's standards, the similar grade tax officer now would be earning 30 to 35. So if the baggage handlers were earning double, they'd be on 60 to 70.
Yeah.
And they can't get anyone because they're paying 10 quid an hour. What's gone wrong? Workers used to have a bit of clout a few years ago.
Right. Well, then, Margaret Thatcher did for them, and it's been happiness ever after. Yeah, the only way in which the workers will manage to extract some benefits from those with who hold the reins of power is by joining together as one and speaking with one voice.
I mean, the government love it if they can keep food prices down, cheap holidays, keep the population on board, but the workers are the ones that get hammered. So really, you don't win anything. You get cheap holidays yourself, but if they've decimated your wages, you're no better off.
Yeah. A cheap holiday in other people's misery.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, cheers, Mike. 0345 6060 973. One of the greatest lines in the history of rock and roll. A cheap holiday in other people's misery. It's very, very useful. It's right up there with I was born with a plastic spoon in my mouth.
Rock and roll!
Ooh-wee, chirpy, chirpy, cheap, cheap. There, that too. Michael texts, we should boo Boris every Thursday evening. Like clapping for the NHS. It might not achieve anything, but it might make us feel better. Well, why wait for Thursday? Knock yourself out, Michaela. Let's have a call from Woodbridge. One moment, please. Martin.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I am great, mate.
It's been a bit of a strange day today. It's been like the Twilight Zone, hasn't it?
Has it?
Just watching all the stuff going on with the Queen and stuff, and especially the Bon Sang de Jory and her arriving, and then we had this
the Bon Sang de what? Hang on, back up. Whoa.
Slurping champagne.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. The Bon Sang de what?
Bon Sang de Jory.
Who's that?
It's Boris Johnson. It's a wordplay.
Is it?
Yes.
Bon Sang de Jory. Boris, really?
Bon Sang de Jory.
Yeah. And what does that mean?
It's Boris Johnson in a sort of wordplay in French.
Is it?
Yeah.
It was like a French joke.
It just sounds funny, doesn't it?
Well, it does when you say it. Yeah.
Thank you, Rose. So yes, so we had Pretty in Pink looking like Humpty Dumpty, and then my MP turned up wearing a blue dress and this pink hat that just looked like it'd been sort of dumped on her head.
He'd been? Oh, it had been.
She.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's an interesting insight there, Martin. You paint us a beautiful picture.
Groovy.
It sounded like a listener with material to me.
Oh, no.
But thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Dean texts, I spoke to the legendary Mr. Allen the other day and told him about what you said. His fans listen to this show with a notepad and pen poised at the ready to write down anything I say that might concern Mr. Steve Allen. Well, get ready, because I'm about to say something big. Anyway, the rest of this is, apparently it was you. No. I spoke to the legendary Mr. Allen the other day and told him what you said about the roller skates. Apparently it was you that tried to sell him your skates to him. You lied. Poor Mr. Allen, leave him alone. He's doing his best. Is Steve Allen doing his best?
Yes.
Glad to hear it. I did not own skates. I bought Steve Allen a pair of inline roller skates with which he could commute to work. And has he used them? No, he hasn't. Leave your Bentley in the driveway, Steve. That's not saving the planet. I bet it takes a full tank just to get to the end of his driveway. You're ruining the environment, Steve. You personally are an ecological disaster zone. And, I have to say, where are our Jubilee treats? Did Steve Allen leave any Jubilee treats for us?
There were a lot yesterday.
Yesterday is no good.
Today there's none.
None at all. No Jubilee treats for Her Majesty's, celebrations. Zero.
What?
I know. Thanks a lot, Steve. We're starving over here. Plus, disrespectful to Her Majesty. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
I think he's betraying a quite stupefying ignorance.
Thanks, Bodge. You're the best. Mark tweets, do all the kids in your gym hog the machines too? Yes, they do, Mark. As I think I've explained numerous times, drives me up the wall. They don't hog the machines to actually use the machines. They hog the machines to sit on so that they can stare at their phones some more. They have been mesmerised. Leicester, hello, David.
Hi, you had Diane Abacus on before the news saying that everyone could have £1 million each instead of buying a royal yacht.
Something like that. Mm.
Yeah, well, I've got a better idea, because you give everyone £1 million just like that. Everyone would stop work, everyone would buy everything, but no one would be in the shops to serve them. The economy would collapse. Yeah?
Great idea, Dave. Let's make it happen.
Right. Better idea. Universal basic income.
Yes.
Now, in London... Now look this up while I've been waiting for an hour to get on.
Waiting for an hour?
Stop whining.
Yes.
Well, that wasn't an hour, really. Universal basic income. They're bringing it into London, apparently. I've looked it up on the World Wide Web, so it must be right.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving everyone in London £50 a month, so all the beggars on the streets will get £50 a month.
£50 a month?
Yeah,
that's not a universal basic income.
No, but the Welsh government are trialling it for 500 people. This is a report that was done 9th of March. £19,200 a year, or £1,600 a month.
Right.
But then they'll get rid of all the other benefits for them. So you don't get any benefits, you just get this £1,600 a month.
Yeah.
They're just trialling it. And then the Scottish are looking at doing... This report is from August 21 now. I've not found anything more recent than that. Minimum income guarantee for a single person. I say this article is a couple of years old nearly. There'd be a core element of £792 per month, or $1,224 for a couple if you live in Scotland.
These are a lot of numbers that you're giving me. It's almost like listening to you know who.
86%, 5 million, and of course
86% of 5
over
million,
50%,
and over 50%, and on and on and on he goes, just filling the air with noise and numbers. Yes, David.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, the Scottish and the Welsh governments are doing something, or looking into doing something, about a universal basic income.
Yeah, they won't, though.
The UK government,
not doing
which controls England, are doing nothing.
Nothing about it. The Welsh government's... Yeah, I get it. Okay, but it's not going to happen, though, David. Don't hold your breath. Not now, not ever, never. The Welsh government's trial of a universal basic income will pay around 500 people £1,600 a month, the devolved administration announced. This is from the Super Soroway Independent from the 9th of March this year. Under the pilot policy, some vulnerable young people will be paid £19,200 a year for 24 months from their 18th birthday, the highest rate of any large-scale pilot. The scheme will be open to all young people leaving care and extend to double the number of people that had previously been planned. Some members of the Welsh Parliament last month expressed concerns. Yeah, I bet. They said...
Oh, no.
They said the pilot, originally expected to cover just 250 people, might be too small to be a useful study. But unveiling details, the Welsh minister said that the programme is now likely to be taken up by around 500 care leavers. The experiment is planned to last for a minimum of 3 years. Everybody is paid an unconditional flat amount of cash under a universal basic income by the government to help cover living costs. Well, it sounds like a pretty good idea to me, but what they actually do with it instead is give giant corporations the money in the hope that they will take that cash and it will trickle down all over our expectant upturned faces, which it doesn't. They're all about, doling out the cash, but not to people that need it. They dole out the cash to people that don't need it, like giant fuel corporations and international car manufacturers and, people like that. Chemicals companies, organisations that are run by billionaires. Those are the people that get all the cash. It's all about trickle-down economics, like George W. used to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, him. Because the people won't know what to do with it. Of course the people do know what to do with it, though. I mean, if you give £20,000 to 100 people, does that make 2 million? Wait a minute. I have to 20,000 to 100 people. 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2 million. Then they will spend all of that money. They'll spend all that money on, stuff that they need. They'll spend it on food, and they'll spend it on clothes, and they'll spend it on getting about the place. All of that money will go. They will not save it. It will not disappear. That money will swill virtuously around the economy. But if you give £2 million to one person who has already got £20 million in the bank, then the money will not appear in the economy. It won't get spent at all. It'll just go and sit on a computer screen in an empty building in the British Virgin Islands. And that's the method that the government prefer. Giving vast sums of money to multinational corporations who don't actually need it, in order for them to set up a factory in this country. That seems to be our future, persuading corporations that don't need the money that we will give them cash just to do business here. That's how desperate we are. And they just play one country off against the next. I mean, they must be laughing at us. But the government is completely fine with that. They'll spend an enormous amount of money just to give themselves a good headline the next day. We've attracted, 200 jobs, and leave out the bit that it's cost us 20 million quid to do it, or 200 million, or 250 million. Doesn't really matter. Any amount is not too much for a good headline. But if they just gave it to the people, then it would be better spent because the money would get actually spent here on stuff people need, in shops, clothes, food, that sort of thing. And it would enrich the economy rather than just be taken by these people and spirited out to some tax haven somewhere. But, what do I know? I'm not the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Carol says, have you been enjoying the Platty Jubes? Stop saying that, Carol. I mean it. I mean, I know that's sort of caught on. Platinum Jubilee became Platty Jubes. But you have to stop saying that. Right now, I mean it. Diana texts, I had sciatica and the doctor had described morphine. It worked a treat. Well, yeah. It might not have cured that particular pain, but you didn't really mind anymore. Is that about it, Diana? And Fred texts, I suffer with sciatica. It can be debilitating and painful, but still preferable to Ed Bloomin' Sheeran. Well, that's just true. That's just a fact. Thank you, Ed Sheeran. You've delighted us enough. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 11:30. Blimey, is it already? Has this show started yet? God, it'd be great when it starts. 11:30, the news headlines on LBC with Serena Farrow.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
Given we are doing a radio show, but it does remind me that I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
In which we try to solve people's problems while laughing like drains. If you want us to have a bash at your issue, then simply send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com, nickandcarol@global.com, and be prepared for a certain amount of satisfaction. Ask for the podcast by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? If you just can't stand it anymore and you wish to be amused, it'll be right up your alley. What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol is also available on a Global Player, which you should have in your life. It's available for Apple and Android. Stick it up your device and thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? Right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Ben says, for sciatica, yoga will sort it. Well, if by that you mean yoga will give you sciatica, then yes, I think you're probably right there, Ben. I mean, yoga, you might as well try yogurt. Yoga? No, and furthermore... No. No, you might as well try that Tai Chi thing. What is it? Tai Chi, when they wave their arms about really slowly. That's not exercise either. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, Nick. Good
Jan.
evening.
Yes, Jan.
Hi. Yeah, I'm glad you managed to come back to England from Spain just before I go into what I was going to say.
I can't believe it was so easy getting to and from Spain. There must have been a tiny window of opportunity and I slipped straight through it, either side of which People were having an absolute full-on nightmare, still are, in airports.
It is. Yeah, it's terrible. So I was thinking you must be glad that you went when you went.
I am very, very glad. Yeah, but it does make me not want to go anywhere else ever again, because I do not want to get stuck in an airport. I just don't.
Maybe take a cruise. Oh, no, but you still have to get to where
Take a cruise? A cruise?
Yeah.
What, like on a boat with other people? No, it's a no from me. No, a floating hotel that you can't get off. No thanks.
Nick, I was calling about this how the Queen might do what she did in the past with her royal parks. Apparently, the parks. I thought it was interesting. I found out recently. I was reading about it that actually Hyde Park during the Second World War was used for growing vegetables.
Yeah.
Meat, food shortage.
Right.
And there's not just Hyde Park, but they used to call them victory gardens. To supplement rations in the First World War and the Second World War, they were calling Britain's dig for victory. I saw some of the posters. They're quite interesting. You know how they say, your country needs you. They had these sort of, people digging. But
really? It's going to get that bad? That we're going to have to grow our own vegetables in royal parks?
No, but I mean, it's just that like, there's a great short... A lot of people want to have allotments, and there aren't enough allotments going for people with a demand. Like, I found some figures like 1.5 million plots were in use in the UK in the First World War. Now there's only 300,000. So there's a big movement now to get local.
I can't believe that there is still such a thing as an allotment, because those tracts of land would be very, very useful to developers. I'm amazed that people haven't had their tubers concreted over.